Good morning. This is John from the Springs Mennonite Church, and I'm here today continuing to talk about some of the events that occurred the week after Easter. Today, I want to look at Acts chapter 1. I did yesterday. I'm going to pick up where I stopped yesterday, beginning with verse 9. After saying this, now, what he's referring to is the telling his disciples to go out and be witnesses, to share the good news to everywhere, the people next door, the people around the corner, people over in the next county, people across the ocean, across the world. Go and tell them about what's happened. It says, after saying this, he, that's Jesus, was taken up into a cloud while they were watching, and they could see him no longer. As they strained to see him rising into heaven, two white-robed men suddenly appeared and stood among them. Men of Galilee, they said, why are you standing here staring into heaven? Well, let's look at this a minute. The disciples have undergone a week of just amazing experiences. They've gone from the depths of despair to an elation that you can't put words to. And they've talked with Jesus. He really is alive. I don't care what somebody says. You go ask these disciples, they'll tell you, I saw him. He was here. Even ate with us. He's not dead. And they reach the end of this time when Jesus is going to be on the earth. Now, I don't think they understand what's happening. I really don't. How could they? I'm looking at it from 2,000 years away, and I still don't understand all of it. But nevertheless, as they're standing there, Jesus is carried up into heaven. I, I don't know how that happened. We have these Hollywood images where they just rise up into the sky. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. But I do know that the disciples were staring to see him. They didn't want to let go. Now, maybe you know how that feels. Have you ever had somebody that you really cared about leave on a trip? Or maybe move away and leave forever? I know I used to go to the airports when we could go to the passenger gate, and they'd get on the plane, we'd see them get on the plane. Then you'd stand at the window and watch the plane as it backed up, went down the tarmac, got on the runway, and off it went. And you'd look and look and look until you couldn't see them anymore. There was such a sense of sadness that they're gone. Or if they're driving away, even now when my kids come, we say goodbye, they go out to their cars, I walk outside, they get in their cars, we wave, we say goodbye. They start driving off. I'm still staring there. They drive and I stay out stare. And then finally, when they go around the curve, I can't see them anymore. Then I come in. I just don't want them to leave. And the disciples didn't want Jesus to leave. But there was something else to do. These two men who show up, says they're in white robes. I guess the language is trying to say that they're angels. I don't know, but they weren't there before. It says they appeared, so they came from someplace. And they speak to the disciples, and they ask this really, in a sense, dumb question. They say, "Why are you standing here staring into heaven?" Well, what else would they have been doing? You know? What do you mean? Why are you staring up there? Because that's where Jesus went. But the angels have something to remind us of here. They say, "Why are you doing this?" He told you what to do. And it wasn't staring here looking up. Sometimes, as it's been said, we get so heavenly minded, we're no earthly good. God wants us to worship Him. Jesus wants us to follow His life and example. I know there are people listening to me today who don't follow Jesus, or maybe you don't follow Him too well. But that's okay. Doesn't matter what you have been doing. What matters is, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do today? Are you going to stand there gazing off into space? Or are you going to get to work? Jesus said to go and be witnesses. Share me, my life, my teachings to everybody. Neighbors, family, grocery store clerks, gas station attendants, servers at the restaurant, wherever. And so these two men said, "Hey, come on, disciples, you got things to do. It's wonderful to sit and relish in the moment, but you got to get off of the moment so you can get on to the rest of the day." I don't know about you, but I like a really good meal. And it's so good to sit there and eat it and then just enjoy it. But you know what? That meal is intended to nourish my body so I can go do something. And I need to be about doing it. So I want to ask you today, if you are a follower of Jesus, what are you doing for Him today? If you're not a follower of Jesus, well, try it. What do you got to lose? Probably a lot of problems and hassle. When you think about this, I'll be back tomorrow to finish up my talkings about the week after Easter. If you have any concerns or prayers concerns, let us know. We'll do everything we can as fast as we can to help meet your need. Thanks so much for listening. God bless you. I'll be back tomorrow.